Hello, guys, and thank you so much once again for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Let's get right into talking about Indiana Hoosiers basketball. The Indiana Hoosiers got a victory against Louisville yesterday, the day before they lost against UConn. We're going to talk about all that and more on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. But first, let's thank our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap, for 75 years, providing Americans with affordable aluminum foil that helps save you time in the kitchen. When choosing aluminum foil, choose Reynolds Wrap. Line sheet pans with it. Make steamer bags for vegetables. Make it easier for cleanup on your grill and use it to store items in your fridge or freezer. Reynolds Wrap helps save you time for 75 years. Everyday aluminum foil and then easy open boxes, easier to find in the grocery store. Check out Reynolds Wrap in your grocery aisle. All right, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team. Yesterday, they played against Louisville. This game was all over the place. It was like, it started out, Indiana was playing pretty well, it seemed like. The bench came in and played absolutely fantastic. Peyton Sparks, Caleb Banks, Anthony Walker, who's not played well. Many of these guys just came out of nowhere and played really, really well. Peyton Sparks, this guy's like 260 pounds from Ball State. I think he's like 6'10", but he played really, really well. And it's a really good sign to see some of those guys who we've not seen at all as Indiana Hoosier fans get involved in the game a little bit more and show some promise like that they're going to able to go to the next level. Now, there were still, I'm going to try to stay positive because Louisville's not very good and we did get a victory, but there were still a lot of question marks. And Baco got 2 fouls early on in the game, but he showed a little bit more. He was a little bit more aggressive at the beginning of the game. He got 2 fouls and then he went out, but he only played 11 minutes of the game. This guy's got to play better. Woody got really under his skin in the press conference afterwards. People asked about Mbako in the press conference, and he said, like, oh, it's a bullshit title. They give him a 5-star rating, and he got all. But some of these guys, Indiana cannot shoot the basketball at all. 1 for 11 from the 3-point line. That is not going to get it done. And some of those looks like Galloway 0 for 4. He's wide open on a couple of those. You got to hit those. Like, you got to be better. The whole college game is about shooting 3-pointers, and you can't be 1 of 11. Just awful, awful. And Baco missed 3. Galloway missed 4. I don't know who else. I think Xavier Johnson had 1. He hit 1, and that was the only one he hit. That was the only one the whole team hit. Renew got in foul trouble, but in this game, remarkably, we did not need Renew to score all the points like he did in the UConn game. Renew gets himself into a lot of trouble with fouls and kind of, I like his intensity. I like that he's talking out there a lot. I do like that because I see a lot of these guys, they look like a bunch of players that have never played together and don't know each other at all and don't like each other at all. So at least somebody's talking out there. Ware needs to talk more. A lot of these guys need to talk more on the court. You can tell their communication on the defensive end, but that's something else to talk about. What do you think about Woody going to a 2-3 zone at the end of the game, and that totally threw Louisville off. If you didn't see the game, it's like Indiana started out, they had about a 5-point lead just about the whole first half. Then Louisville, this guy for Louisville, this 6-foot guard for them, he started driving in the lane a lot. And Louisville really couldn't shoot from the outside, so Indiana went to a 2-3 zone, which we've rarely ever seen. I sometimes think, why doesn't Indiana go to a zone for a couple of series and then go back to something else just to confuse the other team? So a good wrinkle by Woody. A good to go to that, because once he did go to that, Louisville just struggled mightily They couldn't get the ball. I mean, when somebody goes to a 2-3 zone, basically you want to throw the ball right to the nail in the center, and really then you can like tear apart the zone from there, because you can pass the ball from the top of the nail to wherever you want to pass it to and break the zone down that way. But Louisville struggled with the Indiana zone. And hey, I mean, a lot of teams are going to play zone against Indiana because we can't shoot from the outside. They're going to pack like 3 guys down in the paint and make us shoot from the outside until you prove you can shoot the ball from the outside. This is basketball. This is Indiana. Like, how is it we just don't have guys that can shoot from the outside? It's beyond me. But we don't. And guys have got to start knocking down shots. And Baco shot many of his shots, I've thought, in rhythm. Like, he's not forcing it that much, but he's still struggling. Let's talk about some of the role players in this game, because a lot of role players played really well. Caleb Banks played really, really good. I mean, he was scrappy. He was everywhere. He was playing good defense. He had a lot of energy. And Anthony Walker did the same thing. Anthony Walker is a 50-year player from Miami that came to Indiana in the transfer portal. Finally shows a lot of energy. Now, I don't like him shooting from the outside that much, but he did have some really nice cuts and different things. He cut through the lane a couple of times, caught passes, had some uncontested layup type shots, and he got to the foul line a few times. So great job, Anthony Walker. CJ Gunn played 14 minutes. I thought he has played as hard or harder than anybody on the team when he's out there. CJ Gunn needs more playing time because he is one of the guys that's going to be like a 4-year player here with Gabe Cupps and some of these other guys that are going to develop over 4 years. So, and Gabe Cupps did not have a lot go his way in this game. Peyton Sparks, he played 14 minutes, 4 of 5 from the field. He played really, really well. I mean, what he did in this game, how he was able to, he actually played better than Ware. He was just able to body up the guy under the basket and really just kind of manhandle him every time he got the ball around. Also, the way Sparks was moving and cutting as playing the center position, which Ware doesn't do a whole lot of. He's more just posting up. And we're going to talk about that in just 1 second, because he's got to face up more with the ball. Peyton Sparks was really active out there the entire time he was out there. His stat line, 4 of 5, 9 points, only 3 rebounds. Caleb Banks, 8 rebounds, though. That's really, really good for him. He was everywhere out there. And Anthony Walker, 7 rebounds. These are huge stats, and Ware had 7 rebounds as well. So, Renew ended up with 12. Ware ended up with 12. Johnson ended up with 14, and then Anthony Walker ended up with 11. So, he had 4 guys in double figures. So, I would say it's just a work in progress for the Hoosiers. You saw a little bit more of the team in this Louisville game kind of gel a little bit at the end. And this was just a game they could not lose this game to Louisville. Louisville is not good by any way stretch of the imagination. They won 4 games last year, and you could tell, I could tell when I was watching the game, like they weren't running very many plays on offense. They just seemed completely lost. So that's something to keep in mind. Louisville, not good at all. Although they're one of the best teams that Indiana's beat so far this year, Indiana could not lose this game. And the game really got in question down the stretch until Indiana went to that zone. But all I can say, great job by the role players. Tell me what you thought about the game in the comments down below. I thought seeing some of these role players have a good game and get some confidence was good. We still need to see some of these guys just show a little bit more, that like you just want to see more fire out of Ware a little bit, even though he's played pretty well, and you just want to see Mbako get more involved in the offense. But the Colts are on the bye this week, so I'm not talking about the Colts that much on the channel. We'll be talking about what the Colts have coming up the rest of the year. Gardner Minshew, everybody getting healthy through the bye week, and we will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up this Sunday. But we'll be talking a lot about Indiana basketball. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. I don't know if I'm going to make a video tomorrow, but the Hoosiers will have this next week off in basketball, and they'll return to the court. And the Big Ten season will start pretty soon here in about a week or so. So we got all that stuff to look forward to. But until next time, stay classy out there, Colts and Hoosier fans. We'll be talking to you soon.